Nosebleeds. I've had one nosebleed in my life. It was about 7 years ago, and it was scary, wasn't it?
It was really scary. It was a very bad one. And you know where we were? Filming, recording a programme with Donny Osmond. And Donny Osmond was holding a towel like this.
Stopping my nosebleed.
OK, buddy, OK,
and he said it happened to him all the time as well. My worry was that it just was like a tap, and it was for 2 hours. Yeah. It just was going until I got to hospital. Now, this one is from Jade, and she says, I've suffered with these nosebleeds for years, but over the last 2 weeks they've become daily occurrences, and that would be really scary.
Yeah, that can be really scary. Nosebleeds are very, very common, and in most people they're nothing to worry about, and in 95% of cases they're bleeding from a little area just on the inside of the nose called Little's area, where the blood vessels are very close to the surface and can be easily broken. So usually it's picking or blowing or a change in temperature.
Temperature did it to me.
The skin getting very dry, and it can bleed quite a lot, and it can be distressing. But the way to treat it, I think a lot of people get this wrong. When you have a nosebleed, it's really important that you apply pressure, not on the bridge of the nose where it's bony, but at the end, over that Little's area. And you need to apply pressure.
Do you not feel that the blood then is just building up and you're almost going to choke on it if you do that?
So that can happen. But if you're pressing the correct area, you should be putting enough pressure. It only takes a little bit of pressure to stop those blood vessels being able to bleed.
But she shouldn't be having this every day, should she?
It might be. If there's a change in temperature, if she's even just a little bit of trauma, if those blood vessels are already damaged. So what's important is you nip it and you have to hold it for 10 minutes. Now, what people do is they think, right, 10 minutes, I'll do it for 2 and then I'll check. And every time you stop to check, the 10 minutes starts again.
You literally hold it.
So you have to nip it, you have to hold it for 10 minutes.
Time it.
Before you check. And if you do get any blood, tip your head slightly forward, if you do get any blood going down the back, spit it out. You can put an ice cube in your mouth to help.
So
you can put ice packs on. But in most cases, that will stop it.
What does the ice cube do in your mouth?
It cools it down, so it makes the blood vessels shrink. So it helps to stop it as well.
But what Zoe's talking about, Ranj, is you can see that on the outside of some people's noses where the vessels are very thin and very red around the nose.
But what Zoe's talking about is actually on the inside of the nose, in the septum, actually. And it's a classic thing we get with kids, actually, where they pick their nose and nick those blood vessels, or they get dry, or sometimes an infection can cause that area to bleed. So sometimes we treat recurrent nosebleeds with antiseptic cream. So keep the inner area moist, Vaseline, or this special antiseptic cream which you can get from your doctors.
But I was talking to somebody in an airport lounge one day, like this, at this distance, and the outside of their nose started to bleed, and it just spurted out.
Oh, really?
The outside.
And they didn't even see it, and I had to point it out, and then, you know, and it was like a fountain coming out there.
The one thing I would just say to Jay quickly is, go to your GP. They can cauterise it if it's really bothering you.